Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is the Tool Farts. My name's Chuck.
Yeah, I'm Lou. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm for an old fart. I'm doing all right.
I hear you.
I'm just being a bum today. Look at this. See, I got my Alabama shirt on. And got my because it's a little nip in the house because your mom likes it that way. I think you two guys must be related a little bit that way.
Oh, yeah, I like cold, and I sleep better in the cold too, believe it or not. I don't like a cold house, but when I'm sleeping, I like it cold.
Well, that I'll give your mom credit. I don't like it cold, but she keeps it set at 70. And then with the sheet and got a little light quilt, so it does sleep pretty comfortable.
Yeah, when it's cold, your body actually sleeps better when it's cold.
But when I get up and I hit the floor, I got to put some socks on.
Same thing, man. When I'm in the bathroom, in the shower, I hate a cold bathroom.
you
I hate it.
I'm gonna turn that heat on. I got one of those fans that has heat and the fan both. I'm gonna
I
put
wish I
that
had
sucker
that.
on. Got it. You and me both. When I get ready to get in that shower, I want it to be warm. When I come out, I want it to be warm.
If I ever get the money, I want my bathroom floor to be heated.
Yeah, if I ever get rich, I'm gonna make heated floors in my bathroom.
Yep. Hey, speaking of rich, why didn't we win that $1 billion? I know I had my tickets.
They always win in California, right?
Why can't it be me?
Why can't it be me? Hell, I'd give that money away to everybody. I just keep
Oh,
just enough for me and your mom to be happy with, and the rest of it we just give away.
I could find plenty of stuff to spend that money on.
You're right.
Season tickets to Alabama football. I would buy a big old bus, like a tour bus that bands go touring with, and we would go to all the games.
Yep. And take
I
a
would buy a
credit.
condo in Tuscaloosa. We have a place to stay, a tour bus. If we wanted a tailgate, we could stay in the tour bus and hire a driver because I ain't driving that mess.
That would be a dream, wouldn't it? Go to Dreamland every time you got a chance to go. Somebody posted a picture on Facebook the other day about Dreamland barbecue. I don't know if you saw it or not.
I know I didn't.
Yeah. So they said how good it was. I said, and it showed a picture of people standing in a line to get in, to get into Dreamland. Yep, that's it was a lot shorter than one been used to it in, but that sure was fun.
Yeah, it really did stand out. Just being around like-minded people for a common cause. Everybody went to the game. Everybody went there for Dreamland because everybody was an Alabama fan. And it was so much fun.
And when you look at the building, you go inside, it hasn't changed that much in all those years. And that's what
So
that
why does it
nostalgia.
need to change?
Well, sometimes buildings get old and they need to be updated, and sometimes people get that wall hair up their butts. They think they got to change things to meet the current. Sometimes old is good.
That is correct.
So, well, how do you think the game's going to come out tomorrow?
It depends on which Jalen Milrow shows up.
Well, I think we're going to be all right. I think we'll win, and the sad part of it is, if we win, everybody's going to say, "Well, you beat Michigan because they had all the players opt out because they're going to go into the draft." So, you
But
know,
you know what? That's their fault. They opted out.
yeah, but all those naysayers, that's what they're going to hang it on. It can't be because you won or lost or. I got to give a credit to the team hanging in there. That what they started, they're going to finish. There's three or four ball players, including Jalen, that could have opted out to
And
not
he
worry
still
about
may
anything.
opt out. Well, not opt out. He still may leave. He's got one more year of eligibility. He can come back. He may go into the portal. I don't know. If he's smart, he'll either stay or go in the portal because I don't know how high in the draft he's going to go.
I don't know either. I've heard like second, third, fourth round, something like that. So depends on
He
how
could
much
be
money.
a late first rounder, I would at best.
It depends on where he wants to go, I guess.
He's got the arm, and maybe at the NFL level, if they could have him with some speedy receivers, maybe that touch will come because he was always out throwing our receivers.
Yeah, and that's what the transfer. We had some pretty good receivers that transferred. If had they stuck around this year, I think it would have been a little bit different. Yeah, that's why you play the game. That's what makes it fun. And Navy beat Oklahoma by 1 point. So that to me, that makes our game that we lost to them stand out a little bit more. In fact, I don't look at it quite as bad as we have in the past because Oklahoma played pretty good. Navy's got a pretty good team. Army, Navy, and Air Force too, for that matter. They all look pretty good this year for service ball clubs.
Yeah, they really did. Hey, did Squirrel White from Tennessee ever say where he wanted to go in the portal?
The last time I heard was he was talking about Alabama.
Yeah, but he still hasn't made a decision yet
Yeah,
because
so
he's from Birmingham.
yeah, so
Hey, if we could get Squirrel White, that'd be a good get.
yes, it would be.
But he may be waiting on to see who and what goes on with quarterback too.
Well, we also got that top-rated quarterback that's coming in, a freshman. I think that's good.
Is he an early enrollee?
No, I don't remember. I don't think so. I think he's committed, and I know yesterday there's an article that somebody said something, and he reaffirmed that commitment to Alabama. So we'll see.
We've got 4 early enrollees, this article says. Let me see. So, edge rusher Justin Hill, safety Ivan Taylor, and inside linebackers Duke Johnson and Luke Metz.
And that
Those are
inside
our early
linebacker,
enrollees.
what I read is going to be good for us. So
And then the rest, I guess, will be coming in the spring.
yeah, they got to make up their mind sometime in January, correct?
National Signing Day, I think, is in February.
February. So anyway, one of the articles I read yesterday, I don't remember now too much about it. I don't remember. It's a guy that's going to Alabama, and he was talking about how there's 4 universities tried to flip him from Alabama using the NIL process. It didn't say how much money or anything like that, but that just goes to show you where I think things are getting out of hand a little bit.
Well, I believe it.
I don't really fault the players because I understand that it's becoming a business and you want to make money, and it's just like graduating from college. You get that degree and you can position yourself to get the best job, but you got to take care of your life and stuff like that. I think college sports is getting away from what it's all about and getting closer to more like NFL and money.
But
But
it's always been like that, even when it was illegal. The boosters and whatnot, giving things to the kids to get them to come and play.
yeah,
It's just now legal. That's all.
well, we'll see how it's going to go. After watching these games in this playoff series, I'm just more and more convinced that we need to use about 6 teams in the playoff system and not 12. 6 or 8 at the most. I think we need to have a system where the conference champs doesn't mean anything anymore. I think you need to go into the top 6 or 8. You can look at the coaches poll. You can look at the AP poll, and you can look at their poll, and they need to have some different criteria, and they need to be upfront with that criteria. Strength of schedule.
I keep thinking about that because initially, a couple years ago, when it was still 4 teams, you and I were advocating for 6 teams because then you would have the first two have a bye, and then 3 through 6 would meet each other, in a semifinal to play in the final.
Right.
But having 12 or 6 or however many, it's not gonna save college football, especially the bowl games, because now you have it's become okay for these players to opt out
Exactly.
because they don't want to hurt their draft stock. And years ago where you and I thought it would hurt their draft stock, it really hasn't. The only
No,
people I think it really hurts would be quarterbacks because, the franchises in the NFL, they prize leadership with, their draft picks. But other than that, man, it's not hurting them.
well, but in the NFL, you don't see how many quarterbacks you see on a team. 2.
Usually,
Yeah. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts is in concussion protocol. This is what, second week now?
yeah.
The first week he was out, the backup quarterback got hurt. They had no quarterback. They were running direct snaps to Shakon to Barkley and other players and stuff like that. Then I watched yesterday, they had Kenny Pickett playing quarterback. So yeah, you don't see a lot of quarterbacks getting drafted on a team anymore, where they used to have two or three, and they'd have two in the
Most
back.
teams do have three,
Yeah,
and then one on the scout team.
yeah.
But it depends on, if they want to go skinny and get two or only two, you want to make sure that who you have are studs, and two, that they're young and healthy. But it just takes one game, and they both could go out in one game.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what happened with Jalen Hurts in that first game. Both quarterbacks, the first and second, he went out concussion. The other, I don't remember what the other one was, but he went out. So they ended up playing the rest of that game pretty much with a direct snap process.
And you can't bring your
The scout team,
you can't, because you have to activate him, and you can't do
exactly,
that during the game. You have to do that in the beginning of the next week,
right,
which means you have to deactivate somebody,
exactly. And
like
then you
by put them on injured reserve.
and then you get into the money aspect of it. How much money that owner wants to spend, depending on where they're doing in the season and how their ranking are, and all that kind of stuff.
It's a business, and like all business, it's about risk and what risk you're willing to accept, and how much you're willing to pay to buy down that risk.
Yeah, exactly. It's like insurance. You buy insurance for risk because you're
It should be called just in case,
not.
because that's
Yeah,
what it is. It's just in
that,
case.
you're right. I was taking a look at some financial stuff the other day. I got thinking, man, we're spending a lot of money here. But then on the other hand, at our age, am I willing to take that risk?
And that's why I advocated for you when you had your last car accident, hopefully the last, for you to get umbrella insurance,
Right.
because it's to protect your nest egg. And it really is not that expensive, umbrella insurance, when you compare it to a car policy. It's pennies on the dollar almost.
Well, just yesterday, I was going to HEB and, the stop and go around the corner. I turned the corner there. There was a really bad accident. And this, that corner used to be pretty safe, but here lately you're starting to see more and more. And it looks like somebody was speeding, and then somebody was making a left turn into not the stop and go, but to, a little center where they sell flowers and stuff like that. They got a little restaurant. Well, that car that got hit, it was up like this. The left front wheel, I don't know if it got knocked off or what, but the right rear wheel was that much off the ground. Luckily, I don't think anybody got hurt. I didn't see an ambulance or anything like that, but it's just, you never know.
And more importantly, that umbrella insurance policy, and for those of you people out there who don't know, and I'm not an insurance salesman, so we're not advocating anything, but it doesn't hurt to get umbrella insurance. It covers the difference between what your policy cap is. So, if you have a $250,000 policy on your car, if they sue you for more than that, the insurance company's only going to pay 250. That's all by law they have to pay. Then they
Exactly.
can come after you, which means that house that you're living in, that asset, they can sue you, because that counts as an asset that you have on top of
Exactly.
the car insurance policy. And that's what that umbrella policy does, is it gives you the insurance to pay that difference, instead of them coming after you and your assets, your house, your 401k, any of that stuff.
Exactly. And when you're younger, you can afford to maybe take some risks like that. But as you get older, it sure makes it harder for you because most older people they don't have millions of dollars in reserve that they can bank on. They got a little bit and, they're comfortable, but one bad
Yeah.
accident and one bad lawsuit could really send you to the poorhouse really quick.
Yeah. When I was 30 years old, I didn't have nothing. I
Yeah,
didn't even have a brand new car yet. Didn't own a house. So, I mean, if you were going to sue me, what are you going to get? The clothes off my back?
exactly.
The old beat up furniture that I've got? What more do you want? You can't take blood from a stone. I had nothing, like you said.
Exactly.
You just declare bankruptcy, and then you ain't getting crap, because guess what? I ain't got crap to give you.
Yeah, that's just like one of the accidents I had. They ain't have insurance. So what are you going to do? You going to sue somebody who don't have insurance? They don't have anything. You
Hang
know.
on. Sorry, the dog was barking. I don't think people in the our tens of listeners want to hear the dog barking.
So anyway, let's talk about New Year's just for a second. How about some fun facts?
Okay.
How big is that ball that drops in New York? And that's one of the oldest ones too, and they're celebrated worldwide.
How big around is it?
Yeah,
50,
12 feet in diameter.
12?
12 feet. It weighs 11,875 pounds. It's covered by 2,688 crystals. The first ball in 1907 was made of iron and wood and weighed 700 pounds.
Yes, all that iron and wood.
Actually, there was 2 years that it hasn't been dropped. You have an idea what 2 years they were?
2001
Nope.
and right after Pearl Harbor.
42 and 43.
Okay.
Yep. During the World War II.
So I got one of the years right. Now I was just guessing.
The tradition of making New Year's resolutions date back to the ancient Babylonians who made promises to their gods to gain favor.
How'd that work out?
I guess you had to ask them.
There ain't no Babylonians to ask.
The tradition of kissing at midnight is based on the superstition that it brings good luck in love.
How's that working out?
Well, for me and you, it's working out pretty good. So, and the traditional New Year's Eve song for English speakers was written by Robert Burns in 1788. You know what that song was?
Auld Lang Syne.
You got it. Baby New Year is a symbol of New Year's, often depicted in a diaper, black top hat, and a sash with New Year's numbers. New Year's food. In Greece, Mexico, and the Netherlands, people eat ring-shaped pastries and cakes for New Year's. In Japan, what do they eat?
I'll remember.
Soba noodles to symbolize a break from the old year. Then in the Philippines, people wear polka dot clothing to symbolize prosperity. In Brazil, people jump over the waves 7 times to get into the sea's goddess good graces. In Turkey, people sprinkle salt on their doorsteps at midnight. I can see that. Salt, right? Get up.
I see that.
Yeah. New Year's Eve drinking. New Year's Eve is the drunkest night of the year, with an average alcohol concentration of 0.094%, which is above the legal limit, obviously.
Obviously.
But that surprised me when I read that. But then it didn't surprise me either, being the drunkest night of the year.
I didn't either.
The first New Year's Eve ball was made of iron and wood, like I said, adorned with 125-watt light bulbs, was 5 feet in diameter, 700 pounds. In 1920, a 400-pound ball made of wrought iron replaced the original in 55, replaced with an aluminum ball that weighed just 150 pounds.
Not too bad.
So what are the things you don't do on New Year's? Or what do you do on New Year's? You don't have black-eyed peas, right?
I try to. I try to eat greens for money. I don't know why black-eyed peas symbolize good luck, but it does.
It's from the South.
And you're not supposed to eat chicken, they say, because a chicken scratches for its living, for its food. So that's why you shouldn't eat chicken. But I think you're supposed to eat pork because the pig he roots for what he's going to get.
Exactly. You don't wash laundry on New Year's Day.
I'll tell that to Brenda, see how that goes.
It's believed to symbolize washing a member of your family away.
It's all about symbolism, isn't it?
It is. Drizzle honey on a dish. It goes back to Roman times. It's said to ensure sweetness for the coming year.
I could do that.
Yeah. Put mistletoe under your pillow. Never heard of that.
Me either.
In Ireland, some singletons believe that putting mistletoe under your pillow on New Year's Eve means you'll dream about your future significant other.
Well, I better not do that.
Avoid crying. Sets the tone for the year ahead, explains Cosmopolitan. So you don't cry on New Year's because don't eat lobster.
Don't eat lobster?
Make sure you don't include lobster. This is because few cultures believe eating lobster on New Year's Eve could mean you are held back in the next year since the crustaceans travel backwards.
That's right. They walk backwards. That makes sense. or sideways.
Yeah,
Like I think
yeah,
crabs do go sideways.
yeah.
They don't go forward.
Some people don't open the windows on New Year's as they
Bad luck could come blowing in.
now they'll be opening their windows on New Year's to welcome the New Year.
Okay.
Some people open the doors and do the same thing. I've heard that before. Many countries believe that smashing dishes is good luck and a sign of friendship to bring dishes and place on the homes of those closest to you. Get a midnight kiss.
Hey, let's do a quick little run through of the year 2024. In
All
so
right.
what happened on January 8th of this year?
Michigan beat us in.
Well, they didn't beat us. They beat Washington.
Okay, they got beat us before.
Yep, they beat us 10 days before. Let me see. Oppenheimer, the movie, it ruled in the Oscars.
You know, I saw some stuff on TV the other day about that actor. He is quite a character that played
Yeah.
Oppenheimer. Yes.
The Baltimore Bridge collapsed in March.
Yep.
The total eclipse of the sun happened in April. It's been our second total eclipse in 7 years.
And they don't happen that often.
No, they don't. Madonna had a concert in Brazil attended by 1.6 million fans, making it the largest standalone concert event in history by a recording artist.
Wow, even bigger than Taylor Swift.
Yeah, let's see. In June, the Boeing Starliner was launched, docked at the International Space Station the next day. But because of equipment issues, NASA later decides it's unsafe for the astronauts to return to Earth, and they're still in space.
Yep. And it doesn't look like anytime soon either.
Yep. Nvidia, the company, surpasses Microsoft, becoming the most valuable company in the world by market capitalization. That happened in June. And later on in June, Julian Assange, the WikiLeaks founder, he was freed. And let's see, later in June, on the 27th, Joe Biden and Donald Trump faced off in their presidential debate. And regardless of your political affiliations, it was a disastrous performance for Joe Biden, which he eventually dropped out in July.
And now he's saying he shouldn't have dropped out.
Well, hindsight's always perfect.
So,
Let's see. In July, England or the UK got a new prime minister. About a week later, Donald Trump's first assassination attempt, which he survived. He was shot in Pennsylvania, just nicked his ear. Then late July, the Paris Olympics. In the first week of August, Kamala Harris was officially certified as the Democratic presidential candidate, thereby becoming the first black woman and first Asian American in the U.S. history to win a presidential nomination of a major party. In middle of September, the Fed cut the interest rates. Just a week later, Hurricane Helene makes landfall in Florida, causing widespread destruction all the way up through the Carolinas. And people are still struggling to
yes, they are.
get past all of that.
Especially in North Carolina. They're really having a hard time.
Mexico sworn in its first female president 1 October. Also on that same day of 1 October, Jimmy Carter celebrated his 100th birthday.
And he just passed away, what, yesterday at 100?
Yesterday, SpaceX launched its Starship and caught the spacecraft rocket booster on its descent. That was pretty cool. I'm sure you've seen the videos. Towards the end of October, there was deadly flooding in Spain, killed more than 200 people. Quincy Jones, he died at age 91 on November 3rd. Great music producer and composer. Very influential. If you
Yes.
don't know, read up on Quincy Jones. On November 5th, the U.S. election, we know what happened there. The Ukraine-Russia war still continues on. November 19th, it marked 1,000 days since Russia's unprovoked invasion of the Ukraine, killing at least 30,000 Ukrainians. November 20th, Biden announces a ceasefire deal between Hezbollah and Israel. December 8th, Assad, his whole family's rule for over 50 years in Syria is over. He was ousted on December 8th. And then just yesterday, the 39th president, Jimmy Carter, passed away at 100. He was the oldest living president, or the oldest president to ever, he's the oldest that ever lived
To be 100.
at 100. And that's where
Yeah.
we are today. Those are the big things looking back. Did Wait, no, that was last year. King Charles, that was last year, wasn't it?
Yes, last year.
Yeah,
We
King
had
Charles
some
was.
fun things this year too. We went to Oklahoma.
Yeah, and Alabama suffered its worst defeat in I don't know how long.
Yeah. Your mom and I were watching Tulsa King last night, and then she said, "Now, yeah, I've been to Oklahoma." What was stuck out in that watching that the first couple of episodes that I've seen all those marijuana shops, stuff like that. I said, "Yeah, I think we passed a few of those on our way to the stadium." I
Yes,
had
yeah,
no idea that
that it was
those,
legal.
yeah, that you could go to those shops and stuff like. So I can see why the money is there.
Yeah, all we need now is for the president to get rid of the federal classification on marijuana being a class 3 drug or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Sometimes I
time to
don't.
get rid of that.
Sometimes I don't think we're very smart on how we do things. We rely too much on past history, and that has been unvalidated, if you will. You know, Back in the day when I was growing up, it was the rule of law. You didn't do marijuana because it led to more serious drug use. Well, that's not necessarily true anymore.
Not necessarily, but sometimes it does. It can be. It's
Yeah,
not proven 100%.
what you got to do is look at all the facts and come up with some decision based off of facts and not off of what somebody thinks.
It often would be a gateway drug, but they would attribute that to you having an addictive personality. Like you like that and you want to keep going down that road, then you're going to try more and more things. But again, that gets also back to not just being an addictive personality, but there's something in you that you're trying to suppress, a feeling which you're trying to compensate for with drugs and or alcohol or whatever addiction it is. So again, you need to go get counseling to solve that problem.
But you can also apply that same thought process, alcohol, gambling.
Correct. Any
Yeah,
kind of addiction.
exactly. One of my brothers, he went from one to the other. You would think you'd get over one, you'd be all right, but then you just transfer that over because we didn't treat the addiction in him.
Correct.
The
And what
first,
the underlying condition was that made him want to have that addictive personality.
exactly, and that's what we need to really spend money on looking at and research. I got mixed emotions about AI, but I was watching on TV the other day on 60 Minutes and talk about AI, and a couple other people too that talk about how fast it works and talk about medical research. When they can feed all that data in, to me, it seems like that might be a good thing for that, at least for that aspect of it. When you look at, say, cancer, and you start feeding all of that kind of data about all those kind of medications, how they affect and stuff like it, it might be a pretty good process to help eliminate some of that trial and error process.
But I'm going to tell you, AI, like anything, you have to program it. And it starts off with an algorithm that you teach it to learn. And it's just like anything else in a computer. It's only as good as the person who programs it to do that task. And until we as humans learn to get rid of our biases, it's not going to be perfect.
Totally agree. One of the commentators, one of the professors or doctors, and that's kind of what she said. She said, a lot of people think that AI is smarter than you, but it isn't.
No,
You're smarter
it's
than it.
fast. It's faster at coming up with the answer than you can.
And that's what the part that fascinated me. If you could feed that data into it and come up with some reasonable solutions or outcomes and stuff like that, would help you probably eliminate some of the processes that you go through where you try something, you got to wait, see what the results are and things like that. From that point of view, I think it could have some possibilities.
When I was using it to help me get started with my Python programming, I would give it my problem in a set of parameters and it would give me some code and I would try the code and it wouldn't give me the right answer. And I had to go back to this AI and tell it, look, it didn't work. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry, let's try this. You would think as something as simple as math and statistics that have these hard set rules, same thing in programming, they're it's the set of rules that you do this to get that. it still makes mistakes. And
Yeah,
this isn't like that, like Chat GPT. It's been around a couple of years. Chat has been out. Google has Gemini. Microsoft Edge has Copilot. These are things that are built in there. The new iPhone 16's got AI built into it. Samsung on their phone, they've got AI that you can ask it things. I think even Amazon's got AI that you can ask it questions.
right.
But it's not, like you said, it's not going to always give you the right answer. You can't take it as gospel. It's like you said, you got to be smart enough to, when you give it a question, to follow up and test it and check it.
Exactly. So there's a lot more to it and those kind of things, but we'll see how it goes in 2025, right?
Yeah, as long as we don't ever get another 2020, I'll be okay.
You and me both. Hopefully, have a good day tomorrow.
Yeah, yep, and hopefully we can get together and do this again on New Year's Day.
It sounds
Get
like a winner.
get the season going just right. We did more episodes this year, I think, than we have done in the past. We are just now going to hit, I think this is the 40th episode of the year.
Okay.
52 weeks a year, so we only missed 12.
So how many downloads have we had here recently?
I haven't even looked, and I should complain about my co-host who doesn't get on there and work the socials, like on Facebook and, post stuff. You've got all the information. I don't know why you don't do it.
Probably because your co-host don't want the hell he's looking at when he sees it.
I've showed you. You just type stupid stuff in there, and hopefully people will like it and keep sharing it.
Well, I've done some stuff on Facebook. I've had some people,
Not under your account, under the 20 farts account.
and I've had some people that I got
Yeah,
to
the
give.
last 2 months have not been good for us. They've been very bad on the downloads. I think we peaked at 3 downloads in one day. We've had 19 in the last 30 days, 6 in the last 7. We are just above 4,500 all-time downloads. We are not doing good at all. People are not liking us, Dad. We probably should be thinking about hanging this up pretty soon.
Now we'll see how 2025 comes around.
Yeah, so only 14 in the US, 2 in Australia, 2 from the UK, and 1 from Russia. This
That's not good. We got to get after there.
I don't know, man. People just, I guess they don't like us no more.
Well, we just got to figure out what we got to talk about that they won't talk about, right?
I guess.
All right.
So this month, the best episode we had was in week 31, or episode 31 was back from when I was back from COVID. So that was back in what, September?
Yeah.
That had 11 downloads in its first month, 8 in its first week. That's for the last 10 episodes. That was like the most popular.
I would have thought a couple of weeks ago when we had the conversation, I thought we had a good conversation around this transfer portal and the playoff system.
3,
I
3 downloads.
guess nobody really give a damn about the playoff system.
I guess, man. I don't know. It's pretty sad.
No, it could be worse, right?
Yeah, could be.
All right.
All right, you
Well,
take care, Pops.
you have a good one and give a shout out to you out there in Alabama and everybody. Y'all have a good one and have a happy new year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody.
Eat some black eyed peas.
I will. You eat some greens.
All right. Love you, man.
All right, love you too. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
All right, bye.